I received a message today. I'm gonna answer the question. Alright, so it says, I train in karate, and every time I see an MMA fight on YouTube or TV, I feel like I'm wasting my time training in my style because when I see them clinching and grappling, I always think what would happen if someone did that to me. It makes me feel like I have to know clinching and grappling to be a good martial artist. I'm thinking about starting BJJ and Muay Thai after I earn my black belt in karate, but I will always train karate after I leave. Okay, and he wants to see what's my opinion on this. Well, I think a good teacher is supposed to teach you to be proficient in everything, you know. And whatever teacher you have, whatever they're promoting, is supposed to be just a, just a basically a title for the whole. So every teacher should aim to be completely comprehensive in what they do. When it comes to the fitness, when it comes to martial arts in its totality, when it comes to the fitness training, when it comes to the combative and everything in the combative from unarmed to armed, and when it comes to spirituality and meditation, they should be completely comprehensive. And whatever umbrella label that they want to use to represent this teaching is up to their discretion. So Bruce Lee would say Jeet Kune Do. Jeet Kune Do would incorporate everything that Bruce Lee has to teach, which would be a lot of stuff. Now mine would be, it's just Freddy's Modern Kung Fu. That's my school, and I teach everything that I know, you know. And whoever you're learning from, if they're choosing to use the label karate, it's supposed to be completely comprehensive. So basically what I'm saying is you should not have to go to a BJJ school to learn about ground fighting. You should not have to go to a Muay Thai school to learn about the techniques that they practice. A real good martial arts teacher should be completely comprehensive. But if you're stuck in like a category or something specific, which it seems like you are, then you will immediately see the limitations. So meaning when people put themselves in a box and they'll be like, well, I'm a boxer, and then that's all they do, then you know that they don't do elbows and knees. You know that they don't deal with firearms and bow staffs and nunchucks, and you know they don't deal with kicks. You know they don't deal with wrestling. There's just so many things that they just don't deal with, and then you see so many of their limitations. But if you're a boxer, why would you watch WrestleMania like all the time? You're supposed to watch boxing. So if a boxer is constantly watching WrestleMania, or he's watching college wrestling, which is irrelevant to boxing, then of course he's gonna feel awkward, because he's gonna be like, well, these people aren't even punching. They just keep slamming each other in the ground, and then he'll question his own ability in that area. And of course he'll question his ability, because boxing has nothing to do with wrestling. So he's basically studying the wrong videos according to what he wishes to specialize in. Now, every boxer out there, every elite boxer out there has absolutely no reason to practice ground fighting, BJJ, wrestling, WrestleMania. It's irrelevant towards their profession. So you have to choose and decide what you want to get good at. You know, and Mayweather is like the richest athlete in the world. He's the best boxer pound for pound. He does not need to learn BJJ, wrestling, WrestleMania, Taekwondo. He does not need to learn that. This is irrelevant to what he does. You know, he chooses to focus on boxing, and that's what he's good at. Now, you need to choose what you want to get good at. You know, and if you want to be a cage fighter, if you want to be an MMA fighter, then yes, you will need to get good at BJJ and Muay Thai and whatever they do in that cage. But if that's not what you want to be, then you just shouldn't even be watching these people, because it's irrelevant. What they're doing is irrelevant to what you're doing. You know, like, if you want to focus specifically on karate and that's just all you want to do, because karate has their own tournaments. They got their own set of rules, which does not incorporate wrestling and BJJ and ground fighting and WrestleMania. You know, karate has their own set of rules. If that is something that you want to completely focus, you know, your life on, then you could get good at those set of rules, and you could watch videos of people that are fighting according to those rules. And yes, if you're a good karate, you know, practitioner who's proficient in those tournaments, it doesn't guarantee that you're gonna be good at wrestling or cage fighting or BJJ, because that is not what you do. You're a karate competitor in karate tournaments, so stick to that if that's what you want to do. You know, if you want to do MMA, then okay, go ahead and study, you know, what they do in the cage. But as far as like envisioning like what is gonna be practical on the streets, you know, I'll tell you like this: none of it is practical, because look at all the things that have been going on, you know, recently, with all these deaths from you know, from the things that's going on in Orlando, from the singer that got killed, Christina, whatever her last name is, Grimmy or whatever. She got shot and killed right after her concert from signing autographs. Okay, look at the school shootings, the Sandy Hook. Look at like the Virginia Tech. Look at, I mean, that person that went into the church, the black church, and killed everybody. Look at all these deaths that are going on out there. They are from like firearms, guns, and that is the reality. You know, and if you want to train for reality, you need to put that in your primary focus. That's what you primarily need to focus on. Look at the laws of your state. Are you allowed to carry guns in your home, in your business, on your person? Are you allowed to have concealed carry? What are the laws? And then arm yourself. If you're completely serious about real life survival, then you're going to look into the firearms tactics and training. You know, and if it's not going to be firearms, then it'll be some other weapon. You know, knives, brass knuckles, sticks, batons, swords, or whatever the case may be. It's like, that's the reality of the survival training out there. As far as all this unarmed combat training is irrelevant for the survival out there. It is completely irrelevant. I mean, you think the SWAT team is going to take out the shooter in Orlando with BJJ techniques or MMA techniques or whatever techniques, unarmed? No, they're going in there with guns. And that's what they need to do to take out these violent people out there. All this unarmed combative training is just, it's another way of exercise, it's another way of having fun. It's an art. It's like not too different than playing basketball, playing tennis, playing chess, playing billiards, playing football, playing golf, playing volleyball. It's just another way of movement for the body to get in better shape, to, you know, to learn some basic self-defense. I mean, we live in a world of guns out there, you know, and nothing, and when it comes to reality, nothing is a fair fight. You know, you think it's fair for this person to just go into a club and start killing people randomly, you think that's fair? No, but that's what happens. You know, and you think it's fair for somebody to just do a drive-by shooting, just kill you? You think it's fair for Tupac Shakur to be in the car and then all of a sudden somebody pulls up next to him and shoots and kills him to death? You think it's fair for John Lennon to, you know, to sign somebody's autograph and all of a sudden he comes back and kills him? You think it's fair for Gandhi to get assassinated? You think it's fair for Martin Luther King Jr. to get assassinated? I mean, life is not fair. And people are not going to play by the rules out there. And you need to be prepared for that. And that really is nothing to do with unarmed combative techniques. Unarmed combative techniques is just... It's not the reality of what it is to survive out there. It really isn't. It's just more of an ego game. Hey, let's follow these. Which set of rules do you want to follow together so we could prove, or so we could test our abilities? Do you want to follow the wrestling rules? Okay, fine. Let's wrestle and see who wins. Do you want to follow Taekwondo rules? Okay, let's follow the Taekwondo rules and see who wins. Do you want to follow kickboxing rules? Okay, let's follow those rules and see who wins. Do you want to follow the rules of WrestleMania? Okay, let's follow those rules and see who wins. Do you want to follow the rules of Muay Thai? Okay, let's do those rules and see who wins. Do you want to follow the rules of karate? Okay, let's do those rules and see who wins. It's all just a different set of rules. Just like they had the Olympic Games, they got all these different games. It's just a game. Boxing game, kickboxing game, Muay Thai game, Sansao game, MMA game. Everything is a game out there. It's just which game do you want to get good at? And it's impossible to get good at every game. That is literally impossible. You know, you cannot have one person win every single gold medal in the Olympics. It's impossible. You can't have a person win the basketball gold medal, the football gold medal, the boxing gold medal, the golf gold medal, the weightlifting gold medal, the swimming gold medal. You cannot. That's impossible. So if you're training to get good at games, then decide which game do you want to get good at. Do you want to get good at the game of karate? Then follow those rules and study the people that are good in that game. If you want to get good at basketball, why would you study football? The players that are playing football. You don't see basketball players in the NBA studying football players, because that's not relevant to what they do. So if you want to get good at karate in that tournament, in that game, then do not study MMA and cage fighting, because it is irrelevant to what you do. You know, as for myself, I don't play any of these games. None of them. I don't play none of them. I study for survival on the streets. That's what I do. And that is something that is not a competition. It's like a scientific experiment to go into a room face to face with somebody else and just fight and see how well you do with or without weapons. You know, and that's what I do. It's not a game. It's an experiment. It's a way to learn. But almost everything else out there is some sort of game. The BJJ game, you know, MMA game, karate game. Every single tournament that you could think of in the martial arts is a game. Okay? So you just need to know, you have to decide what is important for you. If you want to be the best equipped that you possibly can be to survive on the streets, then yes, you need to train and everything. That includes ground fighting. And I do ground fighting. I'm good at ground fighting, but my ground fighting is something that you've never seen before in mass television or mass media, because mine incorporates absolutely no rules. And it's not for everybody to learn. It's for me, and it's for my close students and disciples that are, you know, that I feel should learn. And it's not that hard to learn, and it's not that hard to get effective with it. I just feel that a martial art teacher who is not capable of showing you the basics of survival and ground fighting, he should not even be a martial arts teacher, because it is so simple, so easy. He should automatically have that a part of his curriculum. If a martial art teacher doesn't even know how to teach you how to use a gun, how to use it effectively, he shouldn't even be a martial arts teacher, because that's the basics of survival. You know what I'm saying? It's like saying, oh, I want to learn martial arts from this person, but you know what? I don't know how to ride a bike, so let me join another school to learn how to ride a bike. It's like, what, your martial art teacher can't teach you how to ride a bike? I mean, it's like basic and simple. He should be able to teach you how to ride a bike. He should be able to teach you how to run fast, how to fight on the ground and survive, how to shoot a gun, how to use a baton to protect yourself, how to use a knife to protect yourself, how to use your kicks to protect yourself, how to use your elbows and your knees to protect yourself. If he can't even teach you that, then he shouldn't even be a martial arts teacher. It's like every single martial arts school has to choose which umbrella label that they want to use to represent their school. But within that umbrella label, it should incorporate everything. So if you got a person that's running a karate school, and you got a person that's running a kung fu school, and you got a person that's running a jiu-jitsu school, or whatever you want to call it, each school should be completely comprehensive. They should be able to train in everything. You should not have to go to, let me go to the Muay Thai school to learn elbows and knees. Okay, let me go to the boxing school to learn jabs, crosses, hooks, and uppercuts. Okay, let me go to the Taekwondo school to learn side kicks, hook kicks, roundhouses, and spin kicks. Let me go to the BJJ school to learn triangle chokes and arm bars. It should never be like that, because it is so easy to learn these things. And if you run a school, if you claim yourself to be an owner of a school, a master of a school, a master of the martial arts, how can you tell me that you cannot teach somebody the basics of everything? It just does not make sense to me that people feel a need to jump from school to school to school because their school is just not good enough. It's not supposed to be that way. If it is that way, then it's not truly a martial arts school. It's something else. Like a wrestling school is just wrestling, because you will not see wrestlers all of a sudden pull out nunchucks and start using nunchucks, because it is not a martial arts school. It's a wrestling school. You're not going to see boxers all of a sudden start kicking like doing front kicks and hook kicks and spin kicks, because it's a boxing club. So these are sports, but a martial arts school is supposed to be completely comprehensive, where they learn from everything that is effective. And yes, punches are effective, kicks are effective, elbows are effective, knees are effective, joint locks are effective, chokes are effective, stand-up fighting is effective, ground fighting is effective, firearms is effective, batons are effective. Everything is essentially effective, and you need to train in everything. And with all this information floating around out there, all this stuff on the internet, if your teacher does not know something, then I do not see why the entire school cannot learn together. Okay, the teacher might have another student in there who's an expert at ground fighting. So then the student ends up becoming a contributor towards the overall development of the school. The teacher might be good at everything else, but he just doesn't really know that much about ground fighting. And then that student that comes into the school will help build that school through his experience. And then everybody's experience comes together, and then you grow together. It does not make sense for people to have to leave one school to go to that school, to this school, to that, whatever, to learn from 50 different people, 100 different people on something that is so simple and basic. This is not rocket science here. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it just comes natural to me, but this is just some simple stuff to me. You know, I know that being a mechanic is not natural to me. You know, being a doctor is not natural to me. Being a dentist is not natural to me. Being a lawyer is not natural to me. So they have their specialties in what they do. But being a martial artist is very natural to me, and it's just so easy. Maybe for the people out there that do not see it to be so easy, maybe they should not be teaching. Because I feel that every single martial arts school should be completely comprehensive. And it's just whatever umbrella label that the school chooses to represent, no matter if it's karate, kung fu, jiu-jitsu, or whatever, Jeet-Kune-Do, Aikido, or whatever they want to use as an umbrella label, it is just to promote a certain culture and to kind of just basically bring everything together into something where they can market. Because you can't market that you teach everything, but you have to be specific with what you market. But as far as the inner teachings of the school, it should be completely comprehensive in my eyes. You know, so if the teacher is not teaching what you feel that you need to feel more confident in what you do, then yeah, maybe you need to seek out to complete your sense of lack. But then you yourself will decide which label that you want to represent. And say you're representing karate, and then now you learn how to defend yourself on the ground. You could add that into your karate, your expression of karate, to have it be more complete than the incomplete version that you were introduced to in that school. You know, maybe that teacher is just not qualified to be a real teacher. Because if he was, he should be able to show you that. You should not have to go somewhere else. You should be able to come in one day and be like, you know what, I just saw this video and I just feel I don't feel comfortable, like I don't know what to do in this situation. Can you please show me what to do? He should know. He's a martial arts teacher. He should be like, this is what you could do. Let's work on this drill. It should not be, I don't know, go to another school to learn that. It should not be that way. You know? It just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. It's like going to a mechanic and then you're like, well, you know, something's wrong with the air conditioner. And he's like, I don't know how to do it. You have to go somewhere else for that. And you go in the next week, oh, something's wrong with this alternator. He's like, I don't know. You gotta go somewhere else for that. The only thing that I know how to do is change the front lights and the light bulbs in the front headset. That's all I know. Then like, what kind of mechanic is that? He doesn't know how to fix the engine, doesn't know how to fix the alternator, doesn't know how to fix the air condition. You know, he doesn't know how to fix anything except for just the front headlights. I mean, that is not a master in his craft. A master in the craft of martial arts knows everything. I'm not saying that he's the best in everything, but he knows like a good amount of everything. He has such a solid foundation that he could definitely get you started in the training, the basics of everything to get good through continued practice. And if he doesn't, all the information is out there. I mean, everybody has access to the internet. So whatever the teacher, the school does not know, he could easily just go on the internet and pretty much steal somebody else's ideas and just basically just put that out there. Which is, it's fake, it's plagiarism, it's stealing, but at least, you know, at least you could use that as something, as a start point. But I'm just saying, a true martial arts master can teach it all because he's mastered it. Okay, that's my opinion. You know, a martial arts master should be like extremely fit. He should know all the combatives, from the unarmed to the armed. He should be very meditative, very spiritual, and developed in those areas. You know, and if he doesn't, then he should be humble enough to admit that he's not a master, that he doesn't know everything, but he will show you what he does know. And maybe we can experiment together to figure out within our school the solution, the techniques. Do your own work. Rather than steal somebody else's answers, experiment in the school with live sparring what works. Re-simulate what you saw that made you feel uncomfortable. You see somebody in the cage or on the streets and they're in this ground fighting position and you don't know what to do. In this clinch position, you don't know what to do. Well, work right with your instructor. Be like, this is what I saw. He grabbed onto him like this and he did this to him. What would you do? And then see what he does. And then have him do it to you and try to figure out what to do. It's like me giving you a crossword puzzle with no answers. You need to figure it out on your own. And that's the beauty of the martial arts. That's why it's called art. It's because you're supposed to creatively figure out how to survive a certain deadly encounter through your training, through your experience. You do it yourself. Don't go on YouTube to figure out somebody else's answers. Come up with your own answers. And your teacher should help you do that. You know, I mean, when you're comparing karate to jiu-jitsu or BJJ, I mean, like karate's Japanese, jiu-jitsu's Japanese, Brazilian is Brazil, Muay Thai is Thai. So, in my opinion, if you want to promote a culture, promote a way, then just be clear about it. Decide, do I want to promote the Japanese culture? Or do I want to promote the Chinese culture? Or do I want to promote American sport? So if you want to promote America, then you might be like, I'm a boxer. You want to promote Japan, you might be like, I practice karate or I practice jiu-jitsu. You want to promote Brazil, then you might be like, well, I practice BJJ or capoeira. You want to promote China, then you could say, I practice Kung Fu. I mean, I feel that people should be more clear and really decide for themselves what they want to promote. I think a lot of Americans do not have any roots in any of the East, so they just don't know what to promote. One week they're promoting Muay Thai, next week they're promoting Kung Fu, the week after that they're promoting Jiu-Jitsu, the week after that they're promoting boxing, the week after that they're promoting Zumba, the week after that they're promoting P90X, the week after that they're promoting Insanity. It's like they don't know where their roots are, because they don't have roots. But what you need to do is decide where is your roots in the martial arts, and then you need to stay true to that. To me, I feel that is important. For me, I know where my roots are. It's clear. I'm going to promote China. You know what I'm saying? The Chinese martial arts. I'm going under the Kung Fu label, and that's where I'm staying. I'm not going to any other label. I'm not promoting Muay Thai. I'm not promoting Jiu-Jitsu. I'm not promoting BJJ. I'm not promoting boxing. I'm not promoting none of that. I'm promoting my culture, where my parents came from. This is where my bloodline is. And the philosophy and everything is what I love, and that's what I want. That's in my heart. That's what I need to promote. But for everybody else out there, they don't know where their roots are. You need to figure out where your roots are, and you got to stay true to that. And then that becomes your home, your base. And then you might go to other countries and other schools and take their ideas to bring it back home. Just like America has, you're an American citizen. When you go to another country, you are a visitor. You are not a citizen in that other country. You're a citizen right here. This is your home. You might be visiting the other country, but this is your home. And that's how the martial arts is supposed to be. You gotta know where your home is. You know? So I also think it's almost like a disrespect to go into any other school without the intention of being there for the long run. I think it's like, if you're gonna go into another school just to learn what you need to learn and then get out, I think it's better off just not going to that school at all, because it's being disrespectful to that school. It's like going into another country and stealing their military tactics and then leaving and then bringing it back to your own home. I don't think you need to do that, especially with the internet. Now you can just go to the videos. The school already puts out their videos out there, so then go ahead and then take what you want to take from that school, from those videos, and then bring it back to your own school. But to actually go into a school to pretend like you're a student when you're really not, so you could take what you want to take and then go back to your own school, I don't think that's supposed to be done that way. That's like disrespectful to the martial arts. You know, it's like having a one-night stand with somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't even care about that person. You don't love that person. You don't even know who the person is. You just want to sleep with the person, and now on to the next person. It's like, no, that's not genuine. That's not real. You know. So that's how I feel about it. You know, if you're not going to promote a certain school, then you might just be representing yourself. Like, I train on my own, I train at home, I train at the park, I train at the gym, I train with my friends. And which culture are you drawn to? Which culture from the East resembles your personality the most? You know, how competitive are you? How meditative are you? How humble are you? How aggressive are you? Like, which way of life comes natural to you? You need to study the ways of these different cultures and decide and determine which one is the best fit for you. And then once you find that, then that's what you should be promoting. Because something like football, you're not going to last if you're not aggressive. No way. Something like boxing, same thing. Kung Fu is more of a balance, yin-yang, balance. Balance the yin-yang, but other places, it's not balanced. It's just a lot of yang. Just yang, 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 yang. And then something like yoga is just all yin. Tai Chi is like all yin. Boxing and wrestling and BJJ and Muay Thai is yang, 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 yang. Just bumping heads constantly. That's why I see all these football players. Just like I read an article just right now. A football player died at the age of 41. Kimball Slice just died at what, 40, 43 or something like that. Football players dying at 41. Cage fighter dying at 43. If that's the life that you want to live, if that's what you want to represent, then go ahead and claim yourself to be a cage fighter, MMA fighter. But if you want to be in Kung Fu, you want to live until you're 100, you want to be like old like Yip Man, or you want to be old like my father who's 65, or you want to be an old person that's still healthy and strong and living a peaceful life, then that's Kung Fu. That's the Kung Fu way. But if you want to go to Muay Thai and get arthritis and get CTE and concussions and lose your memory, get Alzheimer's, get dementia, die early, then go ahead and represent Muay Thai. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just so damn hard that it's going to destroy you. It's going to destroy your body, destroy your mind, destroy your spirit. You're just going to die early. If that's what you want to represent, then go ahead. Like, you need to decide what you want to represent. You see a lot of these wrestlers in WrestleMania. They die early too. They're all up on steroids. If you want to represent that, then go ahead and represent that. You need to determine what you want to represent. That's important. You can't just say that, oh, I represent everything. I know everything. You know. No, it doesn't work that way. You know. So we need to choose that umbrella label, and we need to stay loyal to it. True to it. You know, because essentially it's just all a label. Truth can't be labeled, but we're forced to label because this is the world that we live in. You're born, you're given a social security number. You're born, you're given a name. Whether or not you agree with it or not, you're given a name, you're given a social security number. Language is forced upon us, so we need to use language intelligently. So when we choose labels to represent, then we need to be more accurate. We need to be more precise. You know. But that's pretty much my closing thoughts. It makes me feel like I have to know clinching and grappling to be a good martial artist. Okay. You have to know that. It's not hard to learn, but you know what's even more important for survival is the firearms training. That is what's real. So stop watching this cage fighting and pay attention to the news and what's going on with all these killings out there, and start to see the reality. Read the newspapers and see how people are dying. People are dying from like diabetes, dying from cancer, dying from just not taking care of themselves, dying from heart attacks, dying from gunshots, dying from AIDS, just dying from all these different ways that could be prevented if we train properly. This should be our primary focus. People are not dying from triangle chokes and arm bars. That is not the concern. That is not what's important. Yes, it's important to learn it, but it's minimal compared to what you really need to learn. And that's the truth. That is the complete truth. You know, and even if you do know that stuff, clinching and grappling doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden you're immortal, that nobody could beat you up, that nobody could kill you. I mean, you can know as many techniques as you want. Somebody just come up to you and shoot and kill you, don't make a difference. Somebody just run you over with a car, it doesn't make a difference. So, spiritually speaking, you don't really need to know any of this stuff at all. Because the foundation is, what is it that you're afraid of? Are you afraid of death? Why? Are you afraid of getting beaten up? Why? Question that. Because if you can learn to transcend the fear of death, then that is ultimately the true way. Beyond any of this martial arts training. And people like Socrates, people like Jesus, people like Osho, people like Lao Tzu, some of the wisest people that ever lived in this entire world, that has ever lived in this world, they don't need to practice martial art techniques because they don't have fear of death. They transcend it. And spiritually speaking, the master of the martial arts, that's where you need to head towards if you want to be a master, is you don't have fear. You know, so that's all I gotta say. Hopefully this video has helped you out a little bit, you know, and I think that we need to stop watching other people do things and we need to just do it ourselves. Like, stop watching cage fighting videos and boxing videos and karate videos, but we need to just basically do it ourselves, to figure out the answers on our own. These videos are really distracting us from the truth, you know. And I clearly do not like MMA or support it, so I don't watch it. I never watch it. And if you really don't like it yourself, then you shouldn't watch it either, because it's corrupting your mind. It's a fantasy. It's none of it is real. What's real is stuff that just really can't be filmed because it is too real. So the stuff that went on in Orlando, the real actual killing that was going on, you don't see that because it just happens so quick and it's so tragic that you can't stop and videotape it because your life is at risk right there. You're about to die and people are running for safety. There's no video of seeing exactly what's going on. The only thing that can be done is when movies are created, documentaries are created, they're just trying to recreate what happened in cinema. And then through that recreation, you're trying to relive what actually happened. But the actual footage of the real occurrence, you do not see that. For most cases. Some cases, like on police dash cams, security cameras that are just fixed security cameras that capture these things, you can find them on YouTube. And that is the real, and that is what should be studied. And when you see animals in the wild fighting and killing each other for food, that's real. Okay? But all this crap that we're seeing in Hollywood or whatever, in the WrestleMania cage, the boxing ring, cage, all that stuff is for entertainment. It's a way for them to make money off of glorifying violence, and that is not real. It's for entertainment. That's why there's a referee standing by. That's why there's commercials in between each fight. Okay? The reality is not entertainment. The reality is tragedy. Okay? And if you're a real martial artist, you're going to study the reality.